evening. We have a very full council chambers tonight, and I suspect that Council Member Villanueva, you're right, some of it has to do with sentimentalism, I suspect. But tonight, I thank you for taking time to allow a number of citizens from District 1 to address you on an issue about impact fees. I actually received this in my home, and a number of us in District 1 actually received this particular mailing. And I think it fairly clearly describes the issue that we wanted to talk to you about this evening. Lately, I've been asked my opinion about the Council's decision to adopt the fee structure of the Tischler report. And in fact, this topic came up again for a brief discussion at Monday night's Transportation Commission. First of all, I share the Council's goal to have a policy in place that clearly articulates the true cost of growth. But the report makes perfectly rational arguments to support its suggested fee structure. In reading the executive summary of Tischler, it becomes clear to me that certain assumptions were made about an anticipated pattern of growth in Surprise. And I confirmed those assumptions in a conversation with Jeff Mihalik earlier this week. Specifically, a key assumption was that Surprise would adopt a contiguous infill strategy that would grow outward in concentric circles from the center of the community. So you can see this is the center of the community, and it would grow as we march forward to, north on Grand Avenue. This is not an uncommon strategy and has been adopted by many suburban communities across the country. I, for one, am not a fan of this approach. Over time, it has the potential to appear much like a slow-moving glacier of tile roofs, consuming everything in its path with little sensitivity to geographical features and the natural environment. I believe a corridor approach provides the dual benefit of an efficient use of regionally significant roadways, sewer, and water facilities, while providing greater flexibility to grow a community with its own unique character and a sense of place. I find two basic flaws with the conclusions of the Tischler study and its suggested fee structure. First, the policy does not reflect the reality of what is already in the ground and what is anticipated with your newly adopted general planning document. The general plan envisions organizing our growth in villages located along planned corridors of regional significance. The Council was wise to restart the planning process for the city and to adopt the village concept after taking considerable input from everyday citizens. But again, the 2006 fee structure does not match up. The fee structure encourages the opposite of corridor growth by giving a preferred incentive to core projects. Incentives should be directed to guide growth consistent with the planning document.
1 minute.
Second, while the city has long held a view that growth should pay for itself, the cost of growth is never fully recouped, and all future needs are not covered by the current fee structure. The Tischler study assumes that the older parts of Surprise have already paid the full cost of development and should not be burdened by growth away from the core. It's a good theory, but it's not today's reality. For example, one of the greatest needs which has regional significance is the intersection of Grand Avenue and Bell Road. Those who've been here longest best recognize that this intersection no longer functions well because of the growth pressures, and its current configuration was poorly conceived to handle additional growth. This intersection serves the entire region, and the cost of improving it should be spread evenly across the region. Over time, similar regional needs will develop further north and west. Should the entire city not participate in funding these systems as well? Will the city opt to forward a different GEO bond to SPAs 1, 2, and 3 versus 4, 5, and 6? I'm close to finished. I believe it is time for the city to revisit the 2006 fee structure and develop one that complements the adopted development strategy. Growth never fully pays for itself, but when the underlying fee structure is unfair, then the growth we get may not be the growth we want. And I encourage you as a council to take a second look at the Tischler report and avoid setting city policy that creates winners.
We're going to need to move on now.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
The next person will be John.